we're having a chinwag today. We're having a little bit of a boys chat. So yeah, how you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad. We are currently in conversations while gold is
Going bananas.
going bananas. It's going
Going a
bananas.
little bit crazy.
Yeah, silver did a drop of around about 14%, and now it's retraced 5%.
Wild.
I'm catching little scalps. To be fair, I don't know why I'm doing scalps. I could have just got into one position and just waited and would have netted way more. But I don't know if it's going to turn again. So
Yeah. I'm deliberately trying to not look at it so I don't get FOMO. But yeah, it's been a wild 24 hours. I mean,
yeah.
it's been a wild morning in the sense that silver was down almost 16%, which is just silly. And then gold was down like 5, 6, whatever it was. It's just silly, just crazy numbers.
I think this whole move will get retraced.
What, you think we're going higher still?
Yeah,
Could well happen.
I think we're going to get like a massive retracement. I'm going to buy a little bit, like a really small position at these lows if we can get a little bit of a retracement back and then confirmation that we want to go higher. But at the moment, it looks like it.
It looks very heavy though. It does look very, very heavy. Like looking at my favorite 11 hour. The 11 hour looks very, very bearish. Very bearish. This morning is literally as if just everyone decided just to offload on their gold.
I think what's probably happened that there's been a lot of longs that have probably been liquidated, and then a lot of shorts that are probably closing right about now, actually.
I mean, basically, today has pretty much wiped out the entire week. Like, if you look at the weekly candle now, that's a horrible, horrible wick. This is where it's a great, great way to record a podcast with Alex, because he just walks away from the microphone whilst you're talking to him and just goes, "Well, I'm just going to go for a walk." It's like, okay, thanks, mate.
No, it's wild because yesterday I was long, and then as soon as it started really coming down, I was like, okay, I'm cutting, and I went short, and I didn't think it was going to be like that, but I also had some buys further down. Once I got out short, I went buy, as you do. And
of course
it was holding, but the Asian session when I woke up this morning, it was only very small because I'm trading the personal account. It's only very, very small position size, so it was like 0.01. It was like a tenth of a lot, and I woke up and I was like $300 down. I was like,
oh. I'm looking at it now,
but I got out.
So let's see when this episode comes out in a week.
Yeah,
I reckon 5,000, around about the 5,400 area is going to be a retest for sells.
I think it will get back up to that area, but I think it's a continuation.
You think it's a continuation? I think it's a pullback down.
Look, we haven't had any pullback for the last
very long time.
46 days.
Yes, exactly.
So actually, no less. For the last 20 days, we haven't had a pullback. It just looks like a nice pullback. And it's come into a little bit of an area of demand coming off the EMAs. Overall, it looks all right. You just don't really, you want to get the timing right. You don't want to,
gold right now is basically where it is at this very moment is a day trader's dream.
Yes.
It's a day trader's dream because you can, now where we are, you just trade the highs and the lows and you just trade the reaction points, right?
Yeah, because the volatility is is super high. So you can get in really at the extremes, and
Yeah,
those little pops of price can, depending on how much lot size, can net you about 30 to 40 points
exactly.
in like 5, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
crazy.
It's just wild.
Yeah.
Um,
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right. I think I'm okay. I'm making some life decisions this week. Big
Oh,
life decisions. Making some big decisions. Like
and how's that been?
it's not really made any difference to be honest with you. No, I am I spent the week kind of I haven't been trading pretty much since the beginning of last week, I think. And I have just been kind of just umming and ahhing about what I want to do, kind of thinking, right, okay, where am I focusing my attention? What is it I want to achieve? All this sort of stuff. And I had a really good chat with our good friend Rich the other day. He just said to me, he said, Mike, if you had to have one goal or one objective for the year this year, that at the end of 2026, you could say, I did this, then what would it be? And I was like, get a payout, right? That would be my kind of, I could say, yeah, this is what I've managed to do, right? And I'd be like, yeah, nailed that, got the payout, right? And anything on top of that is gravy, right? But I know that if I can hit that next um
Milestone.
milestone, thank you,
Mm.
then I know that the next ones are just a matter of time, right? And so he said, all right, okay, so if that's your goal, that's the one thing that you want to be able to say at the end of the year that you've done, with all of the things that you're doing, whether it be maybe not so much personal life, kids, family, all that sort of stuff, that's not really going to influence that too much. But in terms of how you're working, in terms of how you're operating, in terms of how you're spending your time, right? All the different things that you're doing, which of those things actually help you on that journey and which ones are holding you back? And there were two things really that were primarily holding me back. One was mental wealth trader,
Mhm.
which, as much as I want to do it, as much as I would love to be some kind of, perceived, person who can help people, particularly with their mental health and, all that sort of side of things, parenting, everything else, it's just not who I am in terms of like the content stuff. I find it uncomfortable. I find it hard. It doesn't mean I shouldn't do it, but I don't know. It just doesn't come naturally to me. It doesn't come naturally to me to pick up the phone, point the camera at me, and go, "Hey," and to create some kind of content that is going to catch people's attention. Right?
You feel that's because you're trying to push something that you are not currently aligned with?
I think is more probably a little bit what I know you've said in the past is this kind of imposter syndrome of not really feeling as though I'm an authority on an authority on the subjects, which I know that I am deep down, but I think there's this kind of this fear factor of, am I just going to get called out of being some kind of, fake or wannabe or whatever you want to call it, um, which I don't really care about, but I don't really have the time for, if that makes sense. Like I don't. It doesn't give me pleasure. It doesn't give me joy. And what it does do is it ends up being a distraction. So I end up doom scrolling on my phone on Instagram on my mental wealth trader because I'm trying to interact with different people. And then it just ends up being an hour of just, what the hell did I just do? You know? So, and the reality is I haven't actually been motivated or driven enough to go away and actually create content for it. The only content I've been sharing on there primarily has been sharing other people's reels or something or pipped off stuff. And so I thought, well, if I'm not going to be doing the YouTube stuff really, and I'm not going to be doing the Instagram stuff, let me just knock it on the head and say, thanks very much. Shut it down. Not shut it down, but just park it. And maybe one day I'll come back to it. Maybe when I'm, in a year or two, I don't know. It's there. I can resurrect it. It's fine. But, um, So what I've done is I've removed all of the Instagram accounts from Instagram on my phone except for Pipped Off because I still want to do this. For me this is actually kind of cathartic when you and I get to sit down and chat. I know we publish it to the world. The world doesn't watch it, but a few people do. But
I don't
it
even watch
doesn't.
it.
Sorry.
No, I said I don't even watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, but it kind of it gives me kind of an opportunity to chat with my mate and just you know let things go, and chat about what's going on and have a bit of a laugh, right? And it doesn't take up much of my time. Like we spend an hour recording, and then I spend an hour the rest of the week like editing, and the rest of it is all automated. Like all of the reels, all the shorts, everything is just done. So I still want to do Pipped Off, so I've still got that on Instagram. And then the other thing I've done because of that is I've also removed Twitter from my phone as well completely because Twitter
So
just we've spoken about it before. It just becomes this noisy echo chamber, and because I've done a lot of work on AI and everything else in the past, I end up getting all of these different things on AI, and that just gives me FOMO as well. And I just think to myself, oh, why am I not building something with AI? Why am I not doing this? Why am I doing, this week, bot that then became Maltbot that is now called something else. I don't know. This changed its name for a third time now. It's now something else again because they were getting hacked and scammed and all sorts and then sued. Like the first part was Claude Bot. They were getting sued by Claude, like Anthropic, because it
yeah,
was, too similar. Then they turned it to Maltbot, but they changed the name on Twitter first, which meant that a bunch of other people then bought other handles or domain names and all this other stuff, so they couldn't then keep Maltbot. So then they've changed it a third time to something else. It's Crawl something or other. I don't know. But that's an example of something that's just like the beginning of the week I was watching, I was going, I even watched a YouTube last night of a guy who was saying all the different things I was doing. I was, there's like this temptation to go down that rabbit hole. And
shiny object syndrome.
yeah, and does that help me get to my goal of getting a payout? No, it doesn't. So,
What is the reason? Like, why do you want to get a payout so bad?
um, that just feels like my next natural step in my process. I've been funded, several times now. Um, I haven't, I haven't really given my trading the time and the respect that it probably deserves, and I haven't given it enough structure over the last probably 6 months or so. Not since you and I, in fact, probably longer. Not since I was doing ABL live streams like back in August. That's when I was kind of giving it some serious, attention and time and everything. So I know that I can do it. And the reality is, and Rich was saying the same thing, is trading is if you can nail your trading is the one thing that truly can move the needle financially for you.
But I don't agree with I don't agree with that necessarily.
With what?
With that is the only thing that really can move the needle.
Okay.
Because it is and the reason why I say that is because there is a lot of opportunity cost when it comes to trading because it can
Mhm.
take such a long time and you're not guaranteed the long-term success. And what I mean by the long-term success, it means it doesn't matter what you make in the next year.
Mm.
Something can happen that takes you all the way back again.
Yeah.
And there's a massive opportunity cost where there are other vehicles that one can use their time to progress in that can have more sustained growth and
Yeah.
not be so volatile. I do agree that trading is one of those things that can give you ultimate freedom, and if you can lock it in, you can be really, really good at it and very consistent. Then the sky's the limit. But there are different things where it comes to businesses and stuff that I think
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I think there are opportunities out there with AI. There are opportunities out there in social media. There are opportunities. There's opportunities wherever you go. You got to make your opportunities, right? Would you agree or disagree though that trading is the only one where it is down to you and you alone on your success?
No.
Okay. What else can you what else do you think then can move the needle financially for people to achieve that financial freedom that we've spoken about so many times in the past, that can allow you, that where you're not dependent on somebody else buying into you or believing into your product or believing in you, like the stakeholders in trading is you and the market. It's not another person.
Which the market is much more unpredictable and it's not as easy to.
No,
The
it's
market
certainly
is
not.
there's even more things going on all over the world, geopolitically, economically, your own mental state, your own,
But that's
all
my
of these
point.
different things.
Yours. It's your own point. It's
But then
your own mental
again,
state.
when it exactly, but the same comes when let's say you want to be a content creator and you want to eventually have a product.
Mm,
You are against yourself because you're the one who's got to wake up in the morning and say, okay, even though I feel like
true.
shit, I actually
True.
need to create this content and I need to, I may not be getting any likes right now, or I put something else and suddenly, I put so much effort into this content. I've got 5 people that have liked it. You've got to fight through that barrier to then eventually get to the person that is consistent in it. So I don't think there's
That
any difference between that and trading or,
Do you think though? Do you genuinely think that to be successful on social media, as an example, let's take that as an example because you raised that one. Do you genuinely think that that is something that it doesn't matter what you post as long as you're consistent, as long as you post it, that people will follow and you can make money from it?
No, I think some people have those moments
Mm,
and some people can go viral, but if they're not consistent and their content is not congruent in their personality, then I don't think it's sustained long enough for them to actually reap any of the
yeah,
rewards of being a content
yeah.
creator. The real content creators, the people that really make money in this industry and stuff, the ones that are very, very, very consistent, have had those pushbacks, but then have gone back. And I think there's a very similar thing to trading. When you
Mm,
try and do things in trading where you go against your personality or you try to push it too hard, you can have short-term success.
mm,
You can make a lot of money very quickly.
mhm,
But when you're not being consistent and you're not putting in those things that kind of cover your backside, then you lose it all and then you lose everything that you came.
yeah,
Not everybody who make it then lose it can make it again. And I'm saying that because sometimes you you lose a little bit of yourself,
mm,
that kind of confidence where you take a massive loss or a massive string of losses. And sometimes you just trying to fight to get it back and it just doesn't happen.
yeah. But
And but
do you not
yeah.
think though that, like, I've seen it. I know people who have experienced it. And in fact, if you look at some of the big YouTubers out there, guys like Matt Armstrong or people like that, they end up creating a second channel, like the Mark II channel, because they've seen, for whatever reason, for some reason, YouTube, Instagram, whoever, they decide to, somebody reports your account and then you get destroyed by the algo and then everything you've built up, it just goes to tits up, right? Um, but that you don't have control over that, right? Trading,
Yeah.
what I'm talking about is purely just financial opportunity. Trading, we've just been talking about it on gold, right? Day traders right now on today, the 30th of January, are making a crap load of money on trading gold.
And some have lost their absolute arse.
and they have, because they are not, they're not managing their risk properly, they're over trading, etc., etc. But what I'm saying is that there is no external person other than that trader that is making them trade.
No, but
See what I mean?
let's say you're in a good trade, you're up so much, then Papa Trump opens his mouth about tariffs, and then your trade that you're up so much
Yeah.
suddenly is just disappeared,
Yeah.
and then sometimes you've been slipped and all kinds of. We had a guy, we had quite a few guys in Funding Rock that were up really really good profits, over 10%, and just on this move on gold, wiped everything out. But yet they didn't have to trade, but they did, because trading, you also got to think about the addictive side of it as well,
But
and
again,
maybe
that's
not.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Again, that's all you, but that's the same as, like, it is all of us. In general, it's the same with your content and your business, and then nobody's going to tell you to wake up and put out the invoices or go and do outreach to go and get
Yeah,
new
absolutely.
clients and stuff.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that if you look at social media, you're still reliant on somebody buying your product, somebody buying into you. You are the product, right?
Yeah.
Whereas trading, you're not the product. Do you see what I mean?
Well, depends, isn't it?
Well, it
All
depends if you're
trading's
going to be
there.
a trading influencer, then yes, you're the product, right?
No, but I mean, it's like a lot of these financial instruments. All they're there is just to extract money from us and put it into other things. That's what I'm saying.
Oh God, you've
Like,
woken up a cynic today, haven't you?
I no, and like, yeah, yeah. I wish I could give you such an easy. I wish I could just agree with everything that you just said.
Alex the cynic today. No, all
Yeah,
I'm saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that trading is easy, right? If it was, I would have been making payouts like 3 years ago when I first started, right? That's exactly my point, is that it isn't easy. But I think part of me, one of the reasons why I really want to do it is because I am so determined to prove to myself that I can. Like, I've gone through this journey of being, climbing the corporate ladder, working my ass off, in a corporate environment, et cetera, et cetera. And then I stopped all of that and I was like, right, I'm going to learn from scratch how to trade, like
mm,
literally teach myself something.
yep.
And so I've taken this journey of the past 3 years, and it's taken me from that corporate environment into, you know, um, unemployed, self-employed, employed, in the industry, met all these people, met yourself and others. And it's created this life for me without me even being profitable. Do you see what I mean? So it's already given me so much. And so now it's kind of like, right, okay, it's given me a lot without me even being profitable. Now it's time for me to actually now, lean in and properly make some money from this thing.
Mm,
I was reading Best Loser Wins the other day.
yeah, great book.
Finally got around to finishing it, and it was only the last few pages are actually the most, actually the most important in that book, I reckon. Most of it I was kind of going, yeah, yeah, it makes sense, makes sense. It was only at the
Remind me
very
what was
end.
the, remind me what was in the very end.
Very end is about how he talks about his belief systems, right? And how you have to change your belief system as to whether you're a profitable trader or not, whether you're going to lose or not, whether the market's going to go against you or not. But like, one of the things he said was he goes back through all of his trades and prints them out into like a book,
Marked. Yeah.
right? And he has this book that he looks at, and it shows him his good trades and his bad trades. So before he goes to market every morning, that's his kind of his prep. Is, I'm not going to go and mark up my charts just yet. I'm just going to go and look at, this is the example of a good trade. This is the kind of thing I'm looking for. This is the example of a bad trade. This is the sort of thing I want to not touch. I want to avoid. I don't want to, behave in this way, right? But the biggest thing, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, is belief systems, and having your belief system, consciously belief system, aligned with your subconscious belief system. You know,
It's massive.
um, yeah. And I think it gave me. I finished it yesterday, I think, And it just gave me a real food for thought of, yeah, do you know what? Probably where I am right now, my conscious and my subconscious belief systems aren't aligned. And that's what I need to work on. And that's
Same
what I
here.
need to change, you know? And I can't do that if I'm jumping from Instagram to YouTube to Twitter to AI to mental health to this to that to do you know what I mean? It's just
Noise.
it's noise. It's exactly that. It's noise. So it wasn't a comfortable decision that I made, you know, because the mental wealth trader I think has potential. It has the opportunity to be something,
Mhm.
but for the amount of time and effort and energy that needs to go into it and the enjoyment that I get from that, it's not worth it. You know, I sat down yesterday afternoon and I back tested for like 2.5 hours and I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved, I was just looking at the chart and just back testing from like October onwards on gold and just back testing ideas and back testing strategy. And it just gave me a sense of calm. You know, I stuck some focus music on and I was just, right, let's just focus on this. Let's just focus on this, nothing else. And I felt great for it. I felt really, really good. So, so yeah, so that's kind of where I am. I haven't gotten a new account yet. I've got to admit, the moves today and yesterday are, in fact, the last 2 weeks, I've been looking at it going, oh, I really want to get it. Like yesterday, I was very, very close to going out and getting an account to start trading. And I said, no, 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 no. This is not the time, even though there's volatility, even though there's moves, this is not the time for you to go in. First, sit down, you know, create your plan, build it all out, and then go from there. So that's how I'm approaching it at the moment. So that
Yeah.
was the long-winded answer of how am I doing. Only took me half an hour to explain.
No, I think it's good, and I think it kind of highlights that we all want so many different things at the same time, and because you've I can put it in for me, you know, I want so many different things that I get paralyzed with actually doing anything because I want so many different things. And if Rich has done something really good, was just like, if you ask yourself at the end of the year, you know, was this year a success? What is
Mm,
the thing that, you know, made that a success? And if yours is getting that payout, then really everything else is just not relevant.
yeah, exactly.
So,
And that's the point is that if you get distracted by all the noise of all the different things that don't serve that goal, that don't serve that purpose, then you're just distracting yourself,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Uh,
The belief is also massive because I have it. I have as well an opportunity that has come about, but I also got a little bit of imposter syndrome,
mhm,
and it's something that I can do. You know, I've done it loads of different times, but there's something like a little bit inside of you is like,
mhm.
probably not
It's
good
that
enough
leap
to
of
do that.
faith that you've got to take.
It's like that risk is like, okay, I'm gonna take this risk right now, but is it worth that risk? What happens if I just lose it all? What
Mhm,
happens if I just, you know, what happens if it doesn't succeed?
mm,
And that kind of paralysis that comes about comes from also, you know, a lack of your identity is holding you back. My identity in these kind of things have
yeah,
held me back a couple of times.
yeah.
Um, so working on those things are super, 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 super important.
I think the other thing is you talk about belief system. It's also down to um, how you approach the fear, right? Like if you're afraid of doing something and you don't do it because you're afraid of it, then you just sit and you don't achieve anything because nothing changes. Because if you sit in your safe four walls, if you stay in your comfort zone of those four, you know, that box, this is my box, I'm comfortable here, y- nothing else is going to change.
Mhm.
You know, you might be lucky, and like luck might come along and say, "Oh, here you go. Here's something to help you along." But realistically speaking, the vast majority of us in this world have got to go out and make your luck. And the way you make your luck is by pushing yourself out of the comfort zone and pushing yourself out into do things that don't make you that you're not comfortable doing. You know?
So easy to say it as well, because like if somebody to me, a friend of mine came with an opportunity that they've got, and they would act the way that I'm acting, what I would
Yeah.
say, I'd just say, "Look, stop being silly, man.
Yeah.
Like,
What would be your advice to them?
what's the worst that can happen?"
Exactly.
And that is that's the problem though, isn't it? With a lot of things in life, that it's so easy to give advice.
Mm. But you know,
So
there was
easy to give somebody else medication, but when you have to give yourself medication, you always forget and you never do it.
but you know that also reminds me of something I read the other day where somebody said, think about all the things that you say to yourself. Would you say them to somebody else?
Handsome motherfucker. Yeah. Look at myself in the mirror. Damn, you
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
good, Sean.
Would you say that to me?
I'm fine. You're a handsome fella, mate. You are a
Mate.
handsome fella.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are.
Well, you know as well as I do that you've got many a fan club, including my wife.
Oh,
Every time they
really?
hear that I'm talking to Alex, they're, "Oh, how's Alex? How's he doing?" Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, Alex is fine, thank you. Yeah, he's good."
Got any
Um,
Polish single Polish women that can sort me
yeah,
out in
there's a whole group of Polish girls out there waiting for you. I'm telling you,
Oh God.
waiting for
You got a
Alex
bit.
Chris.
Oh God.
Um,
Hot
but
girl
um,
mess.
But no, honestly, it's true though. If you think about all the negative stuff you say to yourself, you would never say it to somebody else. Like, would you go out and say to somebody, "No, you can't do that. No, you're not good enough." You'd never say it. So why do you treat yourself worse than you treat others? Do you see what I mean?
Why?
And that
Why
really
though?
sticks with me. That
Why?
really sticks with me
But
because
yeah.
it's just a self-limiting belief. It's just a self-limiting belief. And there are various reasons why our brains get programmed that way because others don't have that. Not everyone does, right? A lot of people don't have that. I think probably the majority do have this kind of imposter syndrome or whatever else it is. But there are different things that happen in all of our lives. We all face difficulties, we all face problems and everything else. But the key thing that holds us back is nobody else holds us back other than ourselves. In no matter what the situation is, it is always us who are holding ourselves back.
Yep.
And so that's why I took the decision after the chat with Rich. I was chatting to Rich for a good couple of hours, and it was just like it just all made sense. I was like, no, this is what I got to do. I've been wasting my time, but I've not been moving things forward with Mental Wealth Trader, not been moving it forward with other bits and pieces because I've been distracted by the noise of this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, that thing. That's not going to work. You know, spreading myself too thin. Got to zone in on one thing and make that work. Because I haven't done that for trading, particularly for trading. I haven't done that properly for many months now. I've dabbled in it. I've messed around with it. I haven't taken it seriously. This is now the year that I take it seriously, and this is now the year where I really lock in and knuckle down. I'm doing my intermittent fasting. I'm down to the lowest weight I've been in years. I'm down to like 91.5 kilos. So, locking in and just I'm making this year the year where I start to turn that needle myself rather than through a job or through something else.
So what's the game plan?
Gold.
Pretty good game plan.
Memdex.
The thing is, you don't need, you actually need to cut out. I've seen so many traders that have made an absolute killing just trading gold. But the thing is, you have to be patient with it. And you have to understand that this thing, it moves after it's taken everybody out. And what I mean by that, not literally, but it's like the feeling, where price goes and you get in, and then you
Mm.
put your stop underneath that low.
Yeah.
Gold will cut. Gold for some reason knows. It knows. It's
Gold just
there.
knows.
It knows the order is there. And it will go down to those areas where there's obviously orders lying, because you're just one person. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of
Yeah,
Michaels.
yeah.
There are many different algos and things that specifically look for highs and lows of those certain areas. So when somebody has an order that is a little bit bigger, it
Yeah.
it enters
Yeah,
gradually
yeah.
into those types of areas.
Yeah.
But it will take it. So you've just got to wait and to see when everybody is totally out, where you feel like the most pain has been caused to people. That's when you actually should get in. And even today, you see, we've had a massive drop down. We've
Mm.
blasted through this area of demand with such velocity,
Yeah.
good for it to close back within the area of demand, and now it's pushing back for a retracement. So everybody's been taken out. I can see on our books here that there have been traders that have lost all of their profits. Everybody's just been absolutely blown away, because people, after that first drop, people were buying, and it was a good idea to buy, because we had a
Mhm.
6-7% drop in about an hour. And the retracement, you can make a lot of money on that retracement. But over the Asian session, people were still buying, and it just dropped even more. So, and now we'll see what happens. I don't think this is going to break down, but I think we're going to continue maybe to push up. But if you can master gold, I think you don't really need much more, because all it is just trending, really. The difference is where it changes its character, and now
Mhm.
it goes from trending to sideways. And you've got to understand, okay, if it's going sideways, how do I understand that it's going sideways? For how long? And how do I change my playbook so I don't keep trying to break up higher highs and trying to
Yeah.
actually get into a trend?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, it's
But if
not
you're
you're
gonna
right, it's not going anywhere.
if you're going to double down on anything, double down on learning how to get gold, to do
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah. I mean, my gold trades when I'm locked in and on it, gold, I can do very, very well on gold. The one I don't think it's my trading that's holding me back. I don't think it's my strategy. I don't think it's how I trade. I don't think it's how I see the market.
No,
That is not my problem. My problem is up here, and it's
and
my
that
belief
that
system,
yeah,
and it's that, cutting your losses, making sure you stick to your stop loss, make sure you're managing your risk properly, all the usual stuff that we all know, but monkey brain takes over and greed takes over, FOMO takes over, etc., etc. We all know the routine, right? This year I am doing it differently because I am journaling properly. I am writing down my goal in a book every day. I don't know if you can see that book there. Every day I come to the office, I write it out 10 times that I'm going to be making 10 grand a month within 6 months. That's my goal that I'm saying to myself, right? 10 grand a month. That's what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it, you know? And I've planned out my days. So I know that the structure of my days are going to be in such a way that I prepare myself. So I'm reading through my plan. I'm setting out, reminding myself of what it is and talking about it. Right. I don't come into an office and talk to a bunch of people, unfortunately. So I'm going to be talking to myself, but that's nothing new. So let's carry on the habit of a lifetime. Let's just do it out loud. Right. And that's the plan. That's how I'm gonna be sitting down here with you in a year from now, and I'm gonna be saying 26 wasn't too bad. Did all right.
What are you going to put in place to stop yourself when you have triggers?
That's what I'm still working on. That's what I'm still working on. But I've got a few ideas in mind. One of which is probably going to lean into my AI stuff. So I've had this idea for a while, and I'm probably going to try and build it out with AI, where I'm going to have an automatic kind of trading buddy, AI trading buddy that sees my trades and sees when I'm trading and how many trades I've done and goes, hang on a second, Mike, you sure about that one? Or that's your fifth trade in an hour. Maybe take a step back. Just something, because when you're in that state of mind, you just need something just to go, oh yeah, okay, sorry, you're right, yeah. Almost like a cold splash of water on the face sort of thing.
Hope that will be enough, because
I do as well. I don't think it will be enough, and I'm sure I'll
no,
have to do other stuff.
I've
But
had equity protectors that once you hit like 3%, you're out for the day, and I was like,
yeah, I know,
fuck
and you turn
that.
it off. But you're the one who, mate,
I'll
because
be
you're the
like,
one.
"Oh, you telling me to stop
Mate,
trading? This next
you're the
trade is the one that is going to get me all of it back."
mate. You're the
Oh,
one who also takes the batteries out of his fucking alarm clock in the morning when the alarm clock goes off.
no, I've
So
stopped doing that.
you stop doing that, right? So there you
Yeah,
go. So
that was a little phase. That was a little phase.
but these are the things that I reckon that all these little bits and pieces. You got to remove when you want something to happen. You got to remove the friction. When you don't want something to happen, you got to make the friction as hard as possible.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
and there's ways that you can do that.
100%.
There's ways that you can do that, and where it makes you uncomfortable. That's when you'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my plan. That's my plan. It's still being articulated. It's still being fleshed out, but I'm quietly confident we're going to get there.
Well, I'm just focusing really mainly on gold, because I haven't really got the time to do anything else.
Mm.
Um, I'll let everybody know. I was telling Michael the other day, I think it was only a couple of days ago, I was on my FTMO account on all my other props in a live. I put on a 20 lot position, and by the time I was about to put the stop loss, Trump said something, and live on stream, it blew absolutely everything. So I am with market conditions like this, I can't really be asked to go and do a prop account with FTMO or anything like that. Do the 10%, then the 5%, just to then start getting the money. It's a schlep, as one would
Yeah,
say.
but
So,
why wouldn't you then go for like an instant funding?
to be honest, I don't want to go through. I can't be asked with it. I'm just personal account. When I see the opportunity and I see an opportunity, that's it. And I'll just slowly build that up. I'm not trying to make now 10, 15, 20 grand in the next couple of months. Like I'm not interested in it at the moment.
Okay. All right. Marking the date. So 30th of January. Okay. All right. Okay.
Look, things can change.
We're going to come back next week and it'll be like, yeah, mate. Oh, just got myself another FTMO, got myself another prop account. Let's go.
It's funny because I went back and I worked out my hit rate with passing props, how much I made, and how much overall. And I was quite surprised. My hit rate of props is 55% of passing. And it was like something 61,000 I made to 20,000 that I spent. That's fine, and I can keep doing that.
That's
But
a
also,
200% return.
yeah, I don't see there's anything wrong with that. Some people turn around and be like, "Well, look, you blew out all of these different accounts." But also, I haven't got the energy to keep going through the evaluations because I do trade heavy when I'm on them, and I can't be asked with going through those evaluations. So we'll see. I'm going to take a little bit of break from prop, just trade the a personal account,
Mm-hmm.
make a little bit of pocket money, and that's it. And we'll see what we'll come back to prop in another time. But at the moment, I don't see the point.
All right, I'm going to ask you about that in a week and see how you feel.
Yeah, probably. Probably because at the moment it's like there's so much, like you said, there's so much noise and there's so much work to do, and there's a lot of emotional expenditure when you're trying to trade prop, when you're trading in general, but also when you're trying to trade prop.
Yeah, yeah.
And on top of everything else, then it's like, okay, you just end up spent at the end of the day.
Mm. Yeah, true. No, you do. Yeah,
And
no, and
I don't want to let trading as well, because I'll tell you what, I've had a good few years of, trading has been like the thing that I've focused on the most, and I don't want to let it take over my life when it comes
yeah,
to I need. So, I'm taking a little bit of step back. I'll probably come back to it in the future. There's so many different firms coming out, so many new things.
yeah,
So, you know, I don't think no longer need to go. The reason why people go to FTMO, the reason why I go to FTMO, because I know that it's safe. You get your payout. You
yeah.
know,
You're
which
not
you
just
don't
you're not just wasting your money, trying to pass an account and then they're gonna go tits under. They're not going to give you a payout or whatever, right?
exactly.
You
Yeah,
know what you're getting with them. Yeah, no, absolutely,
exactly. But yeah,
absolutely, good stuff.
we got any
Um,
confessions?
I've got some confessions up in front of me. Would
Oh,
you like to hear some
confession.
confessions?
I would.
Alrighty. First one up. Let's have a look. First one up is from 3 hours ago. So this one's a fresh one. I'm 21 and I make 20 to 50 grand a month from trading. Life is genuinely so boring for me right now. While my friends get jobs and go to college, I just sit in my room making money, but I'm by myself. I have no idea where to go or what to do from here. The money doesn't always give you everything.
Because when you're trading and you're trading on your own, other than see how many points I can get and see how
Yeah.
many gold coins that I can get.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you do it and you do it consistently, it gets bloody boring.
But that's why it's got to be done with your mates,
Do you think?
Not with just random mates that you've got from school, right?
Yeah.
But if you find people that you get on with well, and like you and I, right? We've known each other for a year,
Yeah.
right? We've
Wow,
spoken about
it's
this
a long
before.
time.
I know, right? But we just clicked and we got on well, and we had good banter, good laughs and everything else, and it made trading more enjoyable. It just made it more. It made it more fun and what have you. Maybe it reduced the seriousness of it a little bit, which maybe isn't always a good thing. But if you balance that out and you get the right kind of people around you, I know a lot of people. There's people like Steven that we both know. There's people like Void and other people who have leveled up their trading because they went from being isolated on their own in this kind of little echo chamber of their own life to going out and being part of some kind of community. If you go into a prop firm Discord or something like that, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people, right? And it can be way too noisy, way too chaotic, etc., etc. But you'll normally find a couple of people that you kind of just get a vibe with, reach out to those people and you just have your own kind of offline little community or whatever, your own little offline chat. And then all of a sudden you've got somebody to chat to. It's not going to, you're not, that's the one thing, is that you're not necessarily going to have somebody to go out and meet with physically necessarily, because we're all over the world. But you never know. Maybe you will find somebody in your city or whatever that also trades, you know? But
Oh,
yeah.
we did. We met up.
True. Yeah, we did. We did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
And I think, yeah, having a trading community, having people that you can chill with, is worth it, definitely.
yeah. So here's an example of that, right? So next one says, me and my brother both learned how to trade together. I became profitable first, and now we both are and make a good living trading prop firms. If you want to progress faster as a trader, get someone who will go through it with you. It makes it so much easier. Plus, now I have someone to travel the world with too.
That's awesome.
That's the dream, isn't it? That's
Awesome.
exactly what you want to see. This one says it turned 1 grand into 50 to 70K 3 times and then blew it every time. Now I'm back again 4th time. I feel like we've read this one before. Around this amount and worried we'll be making the same mistakes, increasing sizing, impulse trades. I can't trust myself. It seems like 60 to 7K is my top. Could
Yeah.
be. Could be.
Identity,
Change
it's
that
like,
belief.
yeah, change your belief system. It's like that thermostat when you get too hot and, it just has to go back down to its, original place.
Yeah. This one says, I wish prop firms were there when I first started trading. It took me 5 years to turn a grand account into 200 grand with regular deposits. Now with prop firms, I average 40 grand a month and I've only been using them for a year. Wow. That
Amazing.
guy's managed to level up with prop. Fair play to him. Fair play.
The leverage, you can't beat the leverage on prop firms. You just can't beat the.
It just gets you into a different market, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, this one looks like, well, if it was marriage, it looks like it could end up in divorce. Girlfriend's parents think I'm a trading genius because I showed them a few prop firm payouts. Her dad gave me 5 grand to trade with that I turned into 10 grand in 3 months. He gave me 30 grand then, and I ended up
Yeah.
losing it all in a few days when I was tilting. What the F do I actually do now? This will ruin my relationship with her parents, and I want to marry her. Boy,
I wouldn't do that.
that is not.
I wouldn't.
I
I wouldn't ever take money from family,
never,
friends.
never, ever. Not even. Just don't take money from anyone. You know,
No, I think if you're
don't
good
trade
at
other
it, yeah.
people's money. If you're not profitable properly, just don't trade other people's money. Just you're asking for trouble.
Mhm.
Surely.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one I'm not gonna read it out because it's a little bit. I know we're not necessarily a family friendly show, but this one is
Mhm.
just a little bit too crude. But I'll send it to you separately
Okay.
because I know you'll appreciate it. Interesting. This one says, how come there are no rich retail traders? We only hear people who say they know someone who is a rich trader or someone claiming he is making lots of money, but there are no verified successful traders. Is anyone making money consistently?
That's not true. There are
It's not
there's a
true.
lot, there's loads of verified people.
They're just not out there making noise about it. And why are they not making noise about it? Because they don't want the hassle of everyone going, oh, can I copy your trades? Can I copy your trades? Can I copy your trades?
I remember when I was going on my I was doing my motorbike trip around Europe, and we went on a ferry to, I think it was to Italy. Yeah, Morocco to Italy. And we got speaking to this guy, had a laugh. We went for some food. It was me, my father, and this random guy. And we got, he was saying he was in marketing and all of this kind of stuff. Eventually, it came out that he was quite into crypto and trading crypto and stuff. And we carried on speaking and stuff. And eventually, he showed me some of his cars. Um, the guy has a warehouse of Ferraris and Ducati motorbikes. I'm not just talking about one Ducati motorbike. We're talking about half a dozen
Wow.
Ferraris, all of this kind of stuff. And then I'm asking him, what kind of fucking marketing you've been doing? And he's in reality, he didn't want to say, but he was trading. He was trading crypto, and
Wow.
yeah, and
There are people still trading crypto. I know it's a lot harder than it used to be, but there are still people out there trading crypto.
Yeah,
You know?
he was doing it around the ICO
Mhm.
kind of period,
Yeah.
turning things into turning silly money into silly money. What he said, he mortgaged his house to get enough money to put into into one crypto coin that eventually, you know, just went 100x.
Wild, isn't it?
It is wild.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This one's a good one. My friend asked me for a trade idea, so I sent him a stupid options play thinking he would realize I was joking. He actually did it and put 3 grand on it, all he had, as a gamble. It ended up winning somehow, and he made 22 grand from it.
No way.
This is more than I have made in the last 10 months from trading, and I actually take it seriously.
That is hilarious.
That would annoy me. Imagine that. Oh, that's hilarious. This guy says, I make 10 grand plus per month in a month. Sorry, that's a lot of money where I'm from. I'm thinking of leaving my day job, which pays very well. Here is the thing. What will I do with the rest of the time I am not trading? I've done enough travels.
I think that's an issue.
That's a first world problem to have.
Yeah, I think that's an issue that a lot of people have. You know, is like, and I don't think that's like just a trading thing. I think that's also a work thing. It's like when you haven't got work and you haven't got anything else. Let's say you haven't got a family, you haven't got. What do you do with your time? Is because if you are so into everything, your work, all of this stuff, then what do you do? And I think that's why people just keep working. They keep doing these things because they don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. This is an interesting one. I found a glitch in the matrix trading strategy where I wake up and I know I'll make money, usually at least 2K a day. I haven't had a red day since starting this 6 months ago, and the furthest I've gone in unrealized drawdown on any given day is $200. The worst part is I can't tell anyone or teach anyone, otherwise I'd risk leaking my edge. Is that really the worst part? I don't think that's a bad thing to complain about. You know, just you're making money, enjoy it. You know, just you don't need to teach anyone. This is the thing. Why do people think they've got to teach others their strategy? I don't understand it. You know, it's your strategy.
Not everybody has to. You don't have to be an educator. You don't have to
exactly
go down that road as, you know, what everybody else goes down. It's really not. Yeah.
Wild. Let's see one more. See if we can find a good one. This one's not nice. Oh dear. Borrowed 8 grand from my girlfriend, which was all she had. Lost it all trading because I forgot to put a stop loss on a trade and got a margin call. She's been asking for it back for the last few weeks because it's money she saved to buy a car. I have no idea what to do.
Why are people so fucking stupid, man? Stop being stupid, guys.
Stop doing stupid things.
Doing dumb. Look, if you're going to be dumb, do it with your own money. Just be dumb with your, like, if you want to lose your shit, lose it your own. And I've done it, okay? You know?
So have I. We've both done it.
Yeah, like, if you want to.
This podcast wouldn't exist if we hadn't done it.
If you want to fucking start just losing everything and just being silly, just at least be silly with your own money. Don't be silly with other people's money.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more. Alex, mate, always a pleasure. Looking forward to next week to see what prop account you've bought.
We'll see how far I get with this. At the moment, with gold, I'll tell you what, there's no point in. You don't need to trade prop with this.
You'll be opening up your own prop soon.
I will. Yeah. Maybe.
All righty.
See you later.
I'll see you next week. Take it easy.
Bye.